All right, check this out. So I've been thinking a lot about this election thing that's been going on, and whether or not you believe that there was voter fraud. Okay, is irrelevant to what I'm about to say. Um, the thing with it is even if the election wasn't stolen from Donald Trump, whether it is or isn't relevant to this. Okay, point is the possibility of it is actually real. Okay, so we need a new system to count votes, uh, and everything else, and I'm going to lay that out here in this video. So this is what we're going to do, okay? First off, we're not going to have any more corrupt politicians, okay? And how you do that, I mean, you're still going to get corrupt people, you're still going to get bad people, but it's going to eliminate it. We're going to eliminate donations, okay? And as much as I hate big government, we're going to do it this way. We're going to say that that the government is going to give each candidate X amount of spending dollars, so that, you know, and it's for travel, it is for commercials, whatever, right? And what they're going to do is if you spend over that amount, that means you're kind of cheating, and so as such, you'll be under huge investigation with really steep penalties. If you make the ticket, government's going to go ahead and go and give you money to do your campaign. It eliminates donations, so which means if you win, you can't have some big company going, hey, if you still want our support, then you're going to have to vote this way. So he eliminates that. They can't no longer say that. Okay. With that being said, right, you're going to lay out your platform like every politician does, or everybody that runs does. Okay. You're going to run it, and you know, you're going to do the check boxes. This is what I believe. This political issue. This, and this. Okay, and then you're going to organize it. And we're going to throw it into a book. Okay, with all the candidates in it. Now, generally speaking, you still get these books. Some of you may have seen them. You know, it's, hey, this is your election book. These are what these people believe. This is the proposal, the opponents of this, and all that. That's fine. But instead, every citizen's going to get it. Every citizen in the United States is going to get this book. Okay, and the reason why is because even if you don't vote, okay, you're still an influencer, right? So let's say you have a couple that, I'll just take myself for example. I did not vote this last election, and it has nothing to do with anything other than the fact that I moved to Texas and I didn't know that they had actual specific voter IDs in Texas. COVID kind of screwed things up. Whatever, I digress. The point is I was really heavy into politics, right? So I'm still influencing what people believe about certain candidates, right? So just because I'm not a registered voter doesn't mean that I shouldn't that I shouldn't have information about the candidates of my nation, right? Now, most people are going to throw them away, but it doesn't mean that the information isn't at their fingertips. Okay. Next thing, right? So you have that, and then all honesty, we should have term limits, and it ain't gonna be the thing of like, well, we should have term limits, so Congress has to agree to it. Nah, see, I think Congress shouldn't agree to it. I don't think it's actually up to Congress. I actually think it should be on our next primary ticket, that the United States citizens, all of us, should vote on whether or not Congress has term limits, and most of us will say yes. Yes, they should. President does. Why doesn't Congress? It doesn't make any lot of sense. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. Okay, so you have those two things, and you're like, well, Mike, it's not gonna, that's not gonna matter. Well, give me a second. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna build huge centers. Okay, they're counting centers. That's all they're there for. Okay, they're gonna handle in giant regions in each state. Some states are only going to have one because the state's not that big. Or maybe they're going to need multiples, like Texas. I think they probably should have 3 or 4. We have a lot of people. We have a large landmass. Okay, these giant centers, giant warehouses. Okay, and this is how it's going to be set up. Okay, Part of the warehouse is where you're going to have signature verification. There is no social distancing, and in the event that you need social distancing, there's going to be specific cameras that are going to be zoomed in onto these things, on the signature, and on for the signature verification, so the people that need to be watching can also see it. Oh, look, there's a signature. Oh, look, it looks like that signature, or whatever, however you want to do that. Okay. After it's done with that process, okay, we're not going to do voting counting machines. We're not going to do tabulation machines. We're going to do it hand by hand. Now check this out. Okay, you're going to have a table. At each table is going to have 2 to 3 people, 2 from each party. It actually doesn't matter which party they're part of, because I have a trick for this. Okay, they're going to sit there and they're going to grab a ballot. Right? They're going to take it over. They're going to set it on the table. Okay, above this table is going to be a camera. Okay. And there's going to be 3 rooms per table. Okay, they're going to be separate. You're not even going to know who's in them. Okay, they're going to be looking at this camera, which, by the way, will be also linked to the website, so that any citizen across the United States can actually see what is going on in their counting center. Okay, it's going to be zoomed in on that, right? Each of these rooms are going to have 2, maybe 3. I digress. 2 people in it, or even just 1 person. That's fine. We can do 1 person, because there's going to be 3 rooms, right? And they're going to look at it and like, okay, first vote is Biden versus, we'll use last election, Biden versus Trump, right? And they're going to push. They're going to have a little control panel. They're going to be, okay, that first one, okay, that it looks like it's Biden, okay, and they're going to push the button. And then at the table, okay, under each monitor, right, it's going to show a little light, red, blue, green, yellow, it doesn't matter, and what color it is, but each color represents a candidate. Okay, when all 3 monitors, when all 3 lights agree on a color, right, that means that specific vote is counted as that person. And then you can have someone that's off to the side that has 2 or 3, or maybe even have a computer that, okay, all 3 monitors agree. Okay, there's a vote. Okay, then we move on. And by the way, we don't shred ballots. We don't get rid of them until Congress has accepted the Electoral College. Okay, it's going to be a locked room under lock, key, and a guard with a gun. Okay, that's how we have to do this. Okay, so, and I know a lot of you are already like, well, that's going to take forever. Who gives a damn? This is our country. This is our freedoms. This is exactly what this country was founded on. Time is irrelevant. Oh, but it's gonna take lots of money. Listen, okay, let's talk about money for a second. Budget. The government actually spends countless of billions of dollars on literally nothing. Or their shadow games, there's I don't know if it's still there. I haven't looked in the past couple of years, but there was a oil spill back in Lake Superior back years ago. And the cleanup for it is still being funded, even though they're not cleaning it up because there's no oil. Where's that money going? Right? It's stuff like that. Stupid stuff. Or we can just do this. If we have enough money to, I don't know, give several $1 billion to other countries, I think we would have enough money to fund this little operation I'm talking about. But I'm not done yet, okay? So check this out. No more volunteers. We're not going to have people volunteer for this, okay? We're going to operate it like the National Guard is, how it's operated, okay? So this is what we're going to do. You're going to hire, each state's going to hire people, okay? They're going to be vetted. You're going to, of who they say they are, you have to have a mix of Republicans, Democrats, Independents, Green Party, I don't care, but you have to have a mix of them. You can't just have all one kind. And even the feds in other states can actually see who you're hiring and see that, okay, you have, New York, what are you doing? You have 90% Democrat and only 10% Republican. What are you doing here? You can't do that. Okay. You're going to hire them and you're going to pay them for their time. Okay. And occasionally you're going to refresh them on the system and stuff like that. And you fall under the same rules as the National Guard, where if you get called up to do a count, your job can't fire you and give you a nice paycheck. Now, what that does is it's hard to fire a volunteer in it because you feel bad. Oh, they're just volunteering the time. Why do I need to get rid of them? Okay, all of that stuff. All right. So, but if you have an employee, you have a little more control. Okay. With that being said, okay, we saw, well, you don't want people like, when you work at a workplace, you get friends and stuff like that, and that's fine. But here's the thing: it was when the count starts, right? You're there for 12 hours, 12 on, 12 off, and every time you come back in that building, you don't go back to your same table. Oh no, it's gonna be maybe even numbers in a hat. That's as simple as that. And you reach into that hat and you pull out a number. Okay, I'm at table 3 today, and the kind of center I'm talking about is gonna be hundreds of tables, right? So, I'm at table 104. So you have to go find table 104, sit down with the person in front of you, and then you guys start counting. Okay, same with the monitors. You pick a number. Oh, I'm in room 3 today. I'm in room 96, whatever. And so they go to different, so it's always circulating. It's always random. All right. So you can't unite as Republicans or Democrats or independents or centrists. It doesn't matter. You can't unite with each other against a candidate or against a system, against a bill, against a law. It doesn't matter what it is. You can't unite because all you're there for anyway is to count. You're just counting what the people actually want. Right? Okay, now, with that all being said, right, every election, everyone, okay, if you are going to be on a ticket, okay, every candidate, every president candidate, Congress, senator, doesn't matter, if you're going to be on that ticket, before the counting starts, like maybe a week before election, right, everybody is going to show up at each of these counting centers, and they're going to run a test, okay? Because electronics are involved in this, right? You want to make sure that things are being counted correctly. So you go to each table, okay? Or you watch the grand majority of the room, because like I said, there's lights, and it's going to be like this, We'll say, Trump versus Biden. Okay, let's say all monitors vote for Trump, right? You see all the lights turn red. Okay, all monitors vote for Biden. Okay, all the blue lights turn on, right? And the red lights go off. Okay, and you run tests like that, right? So that the candidates also see, okay, the voting system is working. Okay, the monitors are working. They're seeing what's going on. Okay, and like I said, it's all going to be a live feed, and there's going to be cameras all along the line. Oh, but Mike, it's expensive. Yeah, but honestly, it'll pay for itself. So that way we don't have to go through litigations and lawsuits and everything else. There won't be any question in anyone's mind that our votes were counted, our votes were counted appropriately, and they are accurate. And on top of all this, okay, so after we get done with all of that, right? And you can even have like someone like keeping like the New York Times up to date or whatever. Okay, now here's the key to this. Okay, after it's all done, there's going to be another giant room, a couple people. It doesn't have to be a lot in this room, and then they are going to run an audit. They don't know what happened in the original counting, but they're going to go ahead and run an audit. Yeah, an automatic audit. So what you have is you have checks and balances. You have all of these things, right? And you place them all under scrutiny of severe punishment. You can't talk about politics there. If you say, hey, I'm a Democrat. Are you a Democrat? Oh, I'm a Democrat. Both of you, go talk to the FBI agent outside. The FBI is dirty. Let's whatever. It doesn't matter. The cop outside. And by the way, you both lost your jobs. Hey, I'm a Republican. Hey, you're gonna vote for Trump? Stuff like that. They literally have lost their jobs, and they have to go talk to some authority. Well, that sounds dictatorialship. Well, it isn't and isn't. The thing with it is most of us have all worked for jobs that there's certain rules you can't break. Otherwise, you lose that job. right? I was in the Army, okay? I'm a vet. Guess what? There was some things in the Army you did not say, you did not do. Because if the right person saw you do it or heard you say it, oh man, you were screwed. Article 15s and you got the hell out of the Army, okay? They took your time, they took your money, and you lost your job. Why shouldn't the rest of the government be this way? Okay? Now, the other thing, okay? The other thing that we need to do is the voting centers, right? When they get done with the voting and they put all their votes into boxes or whatever under lock and key, they're going to throw it into a giant semi, right? Empty, verified by federal troops. Why federal troops? Oh, they're going to be armed escorts. Because here's the thing, is you might be able to corrupt a single soldier. You might be able to corrupt even like a squad. But to corrupt anything beyond that is actually a little more challenging. So they're going to guard this truck and they're going to drive it to the counting center in the region. Okay? And it will take time to make these counts. It will take time longer than what we currently have, what we're currently doing. But you know what? It will be accurate. There won't be no drops or even accusations of drops or weird changes in the counting system. It will be solid. No one will ever question it because there's no reason to question it because it is solid. Okay? Now, I mean, there's other details that that would be hammered out later, but I digress. The point is we need to get something done now. I'm tired of talking about corrupt politicians. I'm tired of complaining. I am done with, that's the other thing. No more smear campaigns, okay? I remember as a kid that I lived in Hawaii when I was 5 through 10, and I remember watching some commercial came on about this politician that was running against this other politician. You know, I was a kid. I didn't know. But I remember that every time I saw that dude's name, it was never about what he believed or what he voted or anything like that. It was always anti his opponent. It was a smear campaign. That's all it was. I can tell you that now that I'm 37 years old, you know what I'm saying? But the point is that has to stop. I am done, and I have been done for years, voting for the lesser of two evils. We need to start voting for values, okay? If you have something on the other candidate, like you know for a fact like they were a rapist, okay? Not a blank accusation, actual honest proof. Then you can do a commercial or whatever about that thing. However, it limits it to one, and you have to have proof. Otherwise, well, maybe this Supreme Court or something, not the Supreme Court, but like the court system will actually accept a defamation lawsuit from the other candidate. It'd be quick, easy, and it would be part of the budget. That way, it keeps the candidates also in check on doing the wrong damn thing. And here's the other thing. They don't have to campaign the way that we campaign now. You eliminated the funding for it. So which means that Congress or the president or whatever, they don't have to spend a year campaigning and wasting our tax dollars on the fact that they're spending a year campaigning. Get your stuff out there, make a couple commercials. You know, maybe hit some door to door, but either way, get back to your job, Congressman. Get back to your job, Senator. If you did a good job, people will re-elect you. If you didn't, well, I guess the new guy's going to give it a shot. Anyway, more videos to come after this. But I thought of this yesterday, and I think it's a good idea. I think we should share. We should contact some people and get this done. Right. All right. Till next time.